What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NBA DraftKings slate on Friday, August 21st. We have a full game of Game 3s in the NBA playoffs where we've been having a lot of drama recently. I mean, we saw a lot of the 2 8 seeds upset the 1 seed and the 1 seed come back and absolutely destroy them, which is what I expected to happen. But today none of those games are even playing, but we got like Philly and Boston. Boston's taking that two-game lead at Dallas. LA Clippers series is really good. Toronto Brooklyn looks like it's probably going to be a sweep. And then the Utah Denver series has been really good as well. So we'll get into all the plays for that. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out, really help me grow the channel. Had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR season, NBA season. And if you're into NASCAR, you should also subscribe to the channel, stick around because I've got a lot of NASCAR content. I mean, this weekend I got 5 videos, 5 races. So a lot of things going on for NASCAR. If you want more of my content, you should subscribe to my Patreon. For only $10 a month, you're going to get a cheat sheet for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, Super Draft, and Fantasy Draft, along with a daily article, projections, salary tier rankings, injury notes, and a cash score 4. So yeah, be sure to check all that out as well. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is @DFSNateLane. My Instagram is @NateLane_. I'm really active over there, just talking about sports and stuff and DFS. If you have any questions over there, I'll answer them for you as well. So yeah, be sure to check that out. All right, let's get into the players. So we're going to start with the Boston Celtics, and Jaylen Brown's first guy I'm interested in. He's only 7,200 on DraftKings. They're playing Philadelphia. So it's a pace down spot. It's a negative line for them. But Jaylen Brown's, last game they blew him out, so the Stars really didn't play a lot in the fourth. But he'll play, if the game's close, play about 35 to 38 minutes, maybe even get to 40. He's going to play a lot of minutes at only 7,200. They've priced up Jason Tatum a ton, but they've left Jaylen Brown's salary relatively cheap, and that's where I want to go today. Because of that, Gordon Hayward remains out, and that doesn't really affect Jaylen Brown as much as it does Tatum and Walker. But Jaylen Brown, he's out there a ton of minutes. He's a high point per minute guy. He's getting a lot of run, and he's just not as expensive enough, in my opinion. He should probably be like 7,800, 7,900. So I think Jaylen Brown's a good option to go to today. The DraftKings prices up Jason Tatum because he's been absolutely balling, which is what pretty much everyone expected at this point. He's 9,200 now on DraftKings, which is just insane, that price tag. But I don't know. I don't hate paying for him just because he's been so productive. I know he's going to get the minutes without Hayward. He gets extra usage. So Jason Tatum has been very, very well. The matchup isn't going to be great. None of the matchups against Philly on paper look great, but you don't really have to take that into account as much, especially when Ben Simmons is out. They've put Matisse Thybulle on him. He just isn't really doing well. He did actually pretty well game 1 when he was guarding him. I think Tatum shot 1 for 7, so they started him out on Tatum. The next game, and Tatum just torched him. So, yeah, I think Tatum's a very, very good play just because I know the ceiling's super high. And if that game last time stayed close, Tatum was going to get 60, 70 DraftKings points, but no run in the fourth quarter because the game was a blowout. So, yeah, I like Jason Tatum a good bit at 92. I don't know if I'd say a good bit. I think there's other good pay-up options, but I think Tatum's ownership will probably go down because of his price tag, so he could end up being a good contrarian play today. Kemba Walker is 6,600. He's too cheap, but Kemba really hasn't been doing much for us. We've been playing him 2 days in a row now, and he just really hasn't had the games that we want from him. But he is still too cheap at 6,600. He's going to be out there for 35 minutes this game, and without Gordon Hayward, he is getting an assist or a usage and assist rate. I can go show you. Without them on the floor, without Hayward on the floor, he gets a 2% usage bump and a 2% assist rate bump. So he's getting nice bumps over there, and it just shows you that Kemba is supposed to be more productive when Hayward's off the floor, and I'm just going to keep going back to him as his price stays low. Maybe people aren't going to go back to him because he hasn't been playing as well recently, but I want to continue to just attack Kemba. He's just a great player. We know what he is, and I don't hate going back to him. Next, we got the Brooklyn Nets, who are now also without Joe Harris. So Karis LeVert, I guess it affects him. He's going to get more usage, but not a ton more. But for the same reasons I've liked Karis LeVert every single day to bubble, I like Karis LeVert again today. He's 8,100, still feels too cheap to me. He's going to play in the upper 30s minutes. He has a 38.8 usage percentage in the bubble right now. He has, I think the assist is 35.5, 32.6. They're both 10% usage and assist rate bumps. So he's just doing everything for him, scoring the ball. The Toronto defense and pace down spot isn't really affecting him too much. I'm sure if he was playing like Houston, he'd be getting 80 a game right now, but he's still going to get you the points you need. He'll probably end up being chalky again, but it's just you kind of have to go for Karis LeVert at this point just because of what we know he's going to bring to the table. I think he's a great play. And then we got Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. Without Joe Harris on the floor, I think him and Temple will pick up some extra usage here. I don't really have any much of a sample size because of All the guys, we don't really have that sample. But, yeah, I think Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot is a good option here. He's been productive in a bubble, hitting threes, knocking down shots. He's done really, really well. A lot of times we played him, and he's paid off for us. So I think Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot and Garrett Temple both look good. Temple had a really good game the last game we played. I think both probably pick up some more ownership without Harris on the floor. I mean, both are already starters, so they're going to continue to start. Probably Tyler Johnson. No, yeah, I don't know who's going to start for Joe Harris. I think maybe Johnson and Gioza start today. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the starting lineup is for Brooklyn, but I don't really want one of the, like, low point per minute guys that's going to come in the starting lineup. Like, I think I just want to go to Temple and TLC. So I think they're both solid options here for a cheaper price tag. We're going to get some higher usage. I bet Temple gets a good usage bump today. So those are guys I do want to go to. Next, we got the Dallas Mavericks. Seth Curry for $3,900. It's just still too cheap. He's going to be out there for 26 to 30 minutes. And he's just going to be out there shooting threes. He's just jacking shots up, jacking threes up. If he gets hot, he's going to pay off. If he doesn't, he probably won't have a great day. But he's a 0.82 point per minute guy, which isn't terrible. But yeah, I mean, he's just, you need some cheap options. I think Curry's a solid one to go to. Probably going to be in the starting lineup. They need him out there. Like, it's not like he's going to get benched for like Daylon Wright or something. Like, he's going to be out there. He's going to play the minutes because they need him to spread the floor. He's very valuable to this team. So, yeah, Steph Curry, definitely someone I want to continue to go to with a cheaper price tag. He's not $3,600, he's $3,900. But, I mean, he needs 19.5 just to pay it off. I mean, he should be able to do that pretty easily, and I could see it where he gets a ceiling at like 30, which then he becomes like a smash play on the slate. This game is also the highest total. It's always the highest total on these 4-game slates. It's just such a two high scoring teams. So Clippers are a good defense. A little bit of a pace-up spot for Dallas. So yeah, but Luka Doncic price has been dropping a little bit, 10,800. Now Luka Doncic last game didn't do good for us, but he got 5,000 in the third quarter. Or he didn't actually foul 5 times in the third quarter, but he had 5,000 in the third quarter. So Luka Doncic is kind of price is coming down, and I think now may be the time to attack him. Dallas needs him to win. I mean, they did really well without him on the floor the other day, but still, I mean, it's Luka Doncic as their starter, like a future superstar in the league. So I think Luka Doncic is still someone that I really want to attack here on this slate. I think he's someone that I haven't been playing as much of recently in the first 2 games, but I think this might be the day to finally get on him when his price is a little bit lower. I know he has that ceiling, the pace up spot, and I mean, man, if Dallas could get up on 2-1 on LA, that would be crazy, bro. It'd be crazy. And it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility when you got Luka and Kristaps Porzingis on the same team. Maxi Kleber's only 3,900, and he's been playing 33 minutes a game. 33 minutes in both games. Or I think he played 34 the first one, 33 this one. Everyone was like, oh, Porzingis got ejected so recently played minutes. And I was like, no, it's not. He's going to play in the 30s again, and he did. So Maxi Kleber is someone I want to go to. Again, he's projecting as one of my top values on the slate. I'm sure he's going to be pretty popular. I mean, he's a 0.8 point per minute guy, which isn't fantastic, and only a 13.7 usage guy, but he's a 10.9 rebound percentage guy, which isn't great, but he's just going to be out there a ton, and I think he's, like, if he doesn't get chalky, he's going to end up being a good play. Not the best point per minute producer, but I think there's, if he ends up getting, like, 50-60% owned, then you can pivot somewhere else, but if he's going to stay, like, in the 30s or even lower if we get lucky, then, yeah, I think Kleber ends up being a really good play here. He's a nice value, and the Clippers aren't good against bigs. Like, here, I can show you a matchup. Against bigs, the LA Clippers allow 2 more points than average to the rest of the league to big men. So, yeah, Maxi Kleber looks like a really solid option to me. When you get to the Denver Nuggets, Torrey Craig's only 3,500. I've kind of been playing Torrey Craig a little bit. Haven't really talked about him much in the videos, but yeah, I mean, he's going to play 30 minutes. He's just another cheap option at $3,500. He's going to be out there on the floor. I think Denver really wants him out there for his defense. He's a great defender. There are definitely times where I could see Torrey Craig being on the floor at the end of games instead of MPJ. I mean, they both start, but, like, when they don't necessarily, like, sometimes in the end of games, like, if you watch the first game against Utah, the Jazz were just switching Michael Porter Jr. onto Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell would just pretty much cook him. Like, the guy just isn't really a good defender at all, and if his offense isn't, like, going off, they don't need him in at the end of games. So, Torrey Craig out there for defense to guard Donovan Mitchell. That's pretty much the sole reason, but he can knock down some threes. If he gets some steals, he can get some peripherals. He can get there. He needs 17.5 just to pay it off, and there are definitely ways he gets like 25, 30 points. So I think Torrey Craig is a solid play today. Someone who's going to go lower owned. He's still gone lower owned. Now, Torrey Craig is definitely someone who gets chalky to go away, but he's not going to get chalky. He still hasn't because it's Torrey Craig. No one knows who that is. So And he's not like someone everyone's like over here talking up. Everyone's going to talk up Cleveland. Everyone's going to talk up Steph Curry. So yeah, I think Torrey Craig ends up being a really good play. Jeremy Grant, I'm going to continue to go to him. He's been playing about 30 minutes a game. He would have played in the 30s if it wasn't for a blowout in the last game. And he's only 4,500. Again, not a great producer, but he does have these ceiling games where he gets like 30 to 40 points, and that's what I'm chasing after. Jeremy Grant, wouldn't play him in cash, but a solid tournament GPP option. Nicole Yokitch is only 9,300 again. Like, I remember 2 games ago when he was 8,700, and then they priced him up to 9,700. Well, they just got blown out. Like, it's not like Nicole Yokitch was bad or like, I mean, he didn't have a good game, but it's not like he deserved his price to drop 400 again. Like, I'm gonna go to Nicole Yokitch. The Utah Jazz, yeah, it's Rudy Gobert, but like honestly, they haven't been like that bad against, or they've been kind of bad against centers this year, especially. But like in years past, it's not like you just can't attack Utah centers on DraftKings. Let me go look at the matchup. They're averaging 1 more point than average to centers on the league. So if you know, Nicole Yokitch could be someone to really target here. I think he's a very solid option, 9,300. It's like he's just a good player. He's just such a good player for 9,300. Like, Nicole Yokitch is only $100 more than Jason Tatum, and I love Jason Tatum, and he's a great player, and can score a ton. But like, Nicole Yokitch is a better DraftKings player and a better real life player than Jason Tatum. I want to get that. I'd rather just pay him 100 more for Nicole Yokitch than to go to Jason Tatum. Now that's where I'm talking about like Tatum being a solid pivot option, because I'm sure Yokitch is going to get a ton of ownership, and that's where you want to go to Jason Tatum and move off of him. But I still think Jokic is still a great play. I don't want to not play him today. Jamal Murray, 7,000. His price came down a little bit after the last game. He didn't have a really good game. Mike Conley does return for the Jazz today, so the matchup isn't as great. But, I mean, he started there all year, and the Jazz aren't good against point guards. They've been allowing 1 more point than average to point guards on the season. So, Jamal Murray ends up looking like a really solid play here. At 7,000 to me, I don't think he'll go. He doesn't really ever get a ton of ownership, and we noticed stealing tired. We saw it in game 1 where he just went off. So when he gets hot, he's hot. He's going to be out there a ton of minutes. They need him out there. So I think Jamal Murray does look pretty good. He's not like a lock to me, but a good GPP play. Again, wouldn't really play him in cash. Paul George, 8,300. Paul George, I mean, he's just every year just sucks in the playoffs, man. This is why I've never been a huge Paul George fan personally, is because of just how bad he is in the playoffs. But he's 8,300, and he's going to play 35 to 40 minutes out there. He's still Paul George. Like, it's not like, yeah, he's had a few bad games, but still Paul George. He's one of the best players in the NBA. He was an MVP candidate a year ago. Like, I mean, you can't just say, 8,300 Paul George, yeah, he's not going to play, I'm not going to play him. No, we don't look at it like that. We look at it like he's going to play 35 minutes. He's a 1.3 point per minute producer. He's a high usage rate player. I haven't even put the assist rate bump he's going to get with Pat Bev off the floor, who's going to out today. So, yeah, Paul George just I think Pat Bev's doubtful, but yeah. But Paul George, I mean, it's an absolute, like, you just can't get away from that. Like, he's 8,300, and, like, Jason Tatum's 9,200. Like, I mean, it's Paul George. Montrezl Harrell played 22 minutes last game. I gave him 23 today. He's 4,100 on DraftKings. Dallas is not good against bigs. They're a fast-paced team. They're a bad defense overall. And Montrezl Harrell's back. Like, I think his minutes are just kind of slowly progressing, getting back to normal. And if he's only 4,100 for a 1.17 point per minute producer, I want all of that. He projects out as one of my best values of the day. I can see him getting up to 26, 27 minutes today for sure. They're just slowly getting him back into the rotation. And we know Montrezl Harrell is a major part of this team. I mean, he's probably legit a top 5 player on this team. You got Kawhi, you got Paul George, you got Lou Will, you got Pat Bev, and you got Montrezl. Those are your top 5 players, the top 5 key players on this team. And then maybe Marcus Morris you can throw in there. But like 4,100 Montrezl Harrell, like, we're not going to get him that cheap anymore if he's going to start playing more minutes. So take advantage of that while you can and get him. He's a nice value today. It's just like, you're always looking for values, but you rarely get values where they're this high of a point per minute producer. Like, this is just someone, like, he plays 22 minutes, 23 minutes. He's going to destroy that salary. So someone I definitely want to get to is Harrell today. Reggie Jackson at 3,500. Pat Bev's doubtful today, so assuming he misses, yeah, Reggie Jackson's a great play. $3,500. He should play in the upper 20s of minutes. Maybe a little bit less, but I mean, I feel like that's what he should end up playing. A 0.95 point per minute producer. He's just going to be out there a ton. And at 3,500, like, he's someone to get to. I'm sure Reggie Jackson chalk is today, but I feel like it's hard to get off of Reggie Jackson chalk just because he's a good producer and he's going to be out there a ton. There are pivots, though. Like, I mean, you can pivot to Steph Curry. You can pivot to Torrey Craig. You can pivot to Maxi Kleber. You can pivot to Montrezl Harrell, honestly. So, there are pivots off of Reggie Jackson, but I find it hard to get away from him. Like, he's got guaranteed minutes and he's going to produce. So, he's a hard one to get off of. Kawhi Leonard, 9,600. We talked about how bad of a defense Dallas is, and Kawhi has made them look silly, honestly. He played 41 minutes last game. That's what I have him in for now. I might take that down a little bit and like give Paul George a few more. But Kawhi Leonard's going to be out there a ton. We know that he's the guy. I mean, playoff Kawhi is different. I mean, this is a tough series for the Clippers. Like, I feel like the Clippers probably should just fell to 3 and played Utah. Like, I think they'd rather just play Utah than Dallas. All these series in the West are tough this year, and I can see Kawhi just like going off. Like that's what he needs to do. He's a high producer. He is in a good matchup. He's only 9,600 for Kawhi. His price went down through to 10,000 last time, so I just want to attack Kawhi again. Lou Will's 5,600, played 33 minutes last game. I think he played 32. I gave him 33 today. Lou Will looks like a good play, 5,600. He's a high usage player. He's high point per minute producer at 1.105 point per minute producer, 28.3 usage percentage, and 30.2 usage or assist percentage. So Lou Will looks really good. All these matchups for Dallas are pretty solid too. But like Lou Will, he's just gonna go out there and jack up shots. Like he's like Jordan Clarkson, but he's better than Jordan Clarkson. And like we know he's gonna go out there and he's gonna pass the ball a good bit and he's gonna shoot the ball a good bit. So he's gonna actually like at least try to produce. If his shot's cold. But I'm trying to get the volume, and I know Lou Will's just gonna go out there and jack up shots. He's such like when he gets going, he's done, and you don't want to have no Lou Will. Someone always want to get into some tournament lineups. I rarely would play Lou Will in cash unless like Kawhi and Paul George are out. Then it's different, but. Not a cash play at all, but a good GBP option is definitely Lou Williams stay. And he's only 5,600. Like, we're usually getting him like 6,300. That's probably about his average salary. So 5,600, Lou Will is someone I definitely like. Alec Burks at 4,100. All right. I don't know what Brett Brown is doing in Philly, because Alec Burks, he said like after game 1, he's a major part of our rotation, a big part of our team. And then he waited till 8 minutes into the second quarter to play him. He played Raul Neto over Alec Burks. It made 0 sense. I was sitting there like, well, there goes my all. I had a ton of Alec Burks last slate and it just ruined it. I was just like, it just doesn't make sense. I gave him 26 minutes today. I don't know if that's going to happen. I really can't say without a doubt that Brett Brown's going to play Alec Burks a ton of minutes. He should, assuming rational coaching. Alec Burks should be out there 25 to 30 minutes every single game. He's the best guard on that team. He should be out there, or the best point guard on that team. He should be out there a ton. I don't understand why they did that. But if Alec Burks does play in the upper 20s of minutes, he's $4,100 on DraftKings. He's a high point per minute producer and a high usage player when he's on the floor, and we've seen him close games. That's pretty much why I like him. The spot against point guards for he's been playing point guard more than like the 2, and Boston's allowed 3 more points than average to point guards all year. I mean, we saw the first game 1, when Burks played a ton of minutes. He had a really good DraftKings day. So, I think Alec Burks is a really good play. Joel Embiid's only 9,800. Like, again, like Tatum's 92 and Joel Embiid's 98. He's a 1.5 point per minute producer. He's going to play in here for 30 minutes. He gets a big usage from without Ben Simmons on the floor. As we can see, he goes from a 32.9 to a 37.5, and from a 17.6 assist percentage to a 23 assist percentage. So Joel Embiid looks really good for me. Daniel Tice really can't handle him in the paint. He was having a good game the other day before the blowout, so hopefully this game won't be as much of a blowout as the other day, but I mean, you can't really count on that. The Sixers suck right now. But yeah, Joel Embiid still looks like a really solid option to me. 9,800, I think he could absolutely smash that salary and be a big winner of the slate today. Josh Richardson at 4,800. I mean, he's just going to be out there a ton. 4,800 is too cheap. Yeah, sometimes he's really unproductive on DraftKings, but I still want to get to some J. Rich. He gets a usage bump without Ben Simmons on the floor of just about 1%, but it's still a little bit. You know, I mean, he's in a decent spot against Boston. Nothing special. We get a little bit of a pace-up spot for Philly here, but yeah, I think Josh Richardson still grades out as a pretty solid option here at 4,800. Someone I want to go to. Not a ton. GBP play only. Don't play him in cash, but he's just a little too cheap. Serge Ibaka at 5,300 was terrible last game. Was absolute trash. I don't know what happened. He was garbage. But yeah, Serge Ibaka at 5,300 is someone I'm definitely got some interest in today. Should play 26 minutes. He's played 26 both past games. We know Brooklyn's terrible against centers. They've been terrible against centers for years now. And I'm just going to continue to attack that. I mean, he has a ceiling. He's a 1.11 point per minute producer. He just wasn't last game. Hopefully people will get scared off of Serge Ibaka today, but at 5,300, I want to play him. I think he projects out as a good value right now. Kyle Lowry, $7,800. He's his price has gone down a little bit. He's not in the 8Ks anymore, which he shouldn't have been in the 8Ks. He's priced about right now, but it's a good matchup against point guards. Brooklyn's bad against the point guards. It's a pace-up spot. It's a positive line for Toronto, so Kyle Lowry's someone I want to get to. Norman Powell played a ton of minutes last game. I have him projected for 30 right now because I think that's what he should be out there for. He's only 4,300 on DraftKings. He's provides scoring for them. He's a .93 point per minute producer. He has a nice usage percentage when he's out there, and we just know he goes out there and shoots the ball a lot. So he's someone I want to get to at 4,300. Even if he's probably more than likely going to play like 25 minutes, but that'll get it done. Like he only needs 21.5 to pay for that salary, and I can see him getting to 30 to 40 pretty easily today. So Norman Powell looks like a really solid option for me. Pascal Sayaka at $7,300 on DraftKings. He should play a ton of minutes. And he's just kind of been a letdown the whole bubble. He really hasn't exploded yet, but I just feel like that game's coming. And maybe it's not going to happen in the series against Brooklyn because they don't really need to push it as much. Although the last game they were down that whole game, ended up winning. But I think Siakam looks like a pretty solid option. There should be out there 35 to 36 minutes a game, and Brooklyn's defense is just bad rebounding defense. He should be able to get some rebounds out there. So I think Siakam looks like a really good option at 7,300. And then we have Mike Conley, who is returning for the Utah Jazz. So the little bit of usage that he gave up, that anyone picked up, which really wasn't a lot. Pretty much Jordan Clarkson's done for us. I don't want to play him at 5,500, but Conley's pretty cheap at 5,900. Should play 36 minutes. I don't think he's going to get ran back in. He missed 2 games. He's fine. Probably give him his full allotment of minutes. 0.9 point per minute producer, 5,900. I don't think a lot of people will play him. He's been playing a lot better in the bubble than he has all season long, so he can pay off that salary pretty well, I think. So Mike Conley's definitely someone I want to attack. And then Rudy Gobert, 7,400. It just feels too cheap for 7,400 for Rudy Gobert. He's going to play 36 minutes. He's a 1.13 point per minute producer. The matchup isn't fantastic or anything. Actually, they do have a positive matchup against bigs, but overall, the Denver matchup isn't great. But I think Gobert looks like a pretty solid option at 7,400. It just feels too cheap to me. But I think that's all I really got to say in the NBA today. Be sure to be on the lookout for more videos coming out later on. I got 2 NASCAR videos coming out. I've got 1 for the Truck Series already today. But be on the lookout for that. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, or a notification bell. Those things really help me out. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon or follow me on social media, I'll put the links in the description. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and make some money today.